Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Reboot It. Tonight we're joined by.
Amanda Berlin.
Thanks. I tried to sound all excited and stuff.
I'm super excited to be here.
I am. This is first working day of 2018. Now I have to remember to write 2018 on my checks.
You still write checks?
Oh, I have to.
Really?
For example, it used to be I had to pay my rent through checks. I can now pay I can pay my mortgage online, but I have certain things that don't take online payments.
Well, my bank will just send checks.
I'm afraid. Well, here's my thing about my bank is that I don't trust them. So I still write checks, but you know what? That has to be a much better situation. I might have to look into that.
I
It's free.
use Capital One 360, and they are pretty fantastic.
Cool. I have to check that out because I know that's been around for a long time.
Their two-factor auth is kind of wonky, though.
At least they have two-factor auth.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of how they do it, but it's all right.
I still say the best two-factor auth out there is battle.net.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, you guards the hell of your games, but you know, two-factor auth for things that really matter in your life is usually poorly implemented. Oh, we'll send a text message to your phone. Yay. So so how have you been?
Fantastic.
What have you been up to?
I'm having some back issues, so I went to the chiropractor this morning.
Oh, that's not good. Someone else I know is having back issues to the point where they couldn't drive or stand. So
yeah, I was having a hard time sitting, which isn't fun when you have to sit all day for your job.
No.
Yeah, so I dealt with that today, and I don't know. I haven't really done much else. I did a YouTube thing for New Year's with, I don't know, like...
You know, I saw that and wanted to jump into it, and I can't remember what was going on, and I didn't. I think I tried to join once, and
yeah, I
wasn't
saw
set
your
up,
name pop up, but
then it went away.
Yeah.
I probably found another bottle of champagne I needed to open and try.
I drank. That's probably the most I've drank by myself. It was pretty.
Well, you weren't by yourself. You're on YouTube, right?
I mean, yeah, we had like 16 people at one point, I think.
Oh, really? Wow.
It was a lot of fun.
And I saw you and Adrian.
Yes.
I didn't see anyone else I knew. Not that I should know everybody, but
yeah, I met some new people for the first time.
That's cool.
How was your New Year's?
It was quiet. Had a very quiet time here. Getting ready for the semester. The semester starts Monday, which is an accelerated timeline. So
okay.
So we have about a week less to get ready. So you got to get your syllabi figured out and your office
just
hours.
like copy it from last year.
You can, but you can't. There's some things that do change, and I had to teach an online class. Teach an online class for something called West Virginia Rocks, which is for RBA students. RBA students are students who started a degree and then didn't finish it, so they come back to school and they can finish what's called a Regents degree.
Okay.
And so I teach that online, so I had to get that all straightened out. But anyway, I have to say that I'm in pretty good shape right now. I am a newly admitted student to a doctorate in education program.
You are crazy.
I'm sitting here sweating, waiting for my tuition waiver to go through, because when I got my tuition bill, I just about had a cow. It's not inexpensive just for even one class. Like, holy crap.
Yeah, I would not be able to go back to school unless somebody else paid, and even then I really just don't have any need or want to go back at all.
In my field, without a terminal degree, I'm never going to go anywhere. Although there are some people who say I'll never go anywhere in life anyway.
Have you made it anywhere yet?
Exactly. So I'm taking, and the only class I could get was statistics, and I'm
I
just,
love
oh,
statistics.
I hate math and
Oh,
statistics. But I have
statistics is like one of the few parts of math that I love.
computing the z-test statistic.
Hmm.
It's basically here's the textbook, which cracks me up. Statistics for people who think they hate statistics. So hopefully,
They will turn you around.
I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, it was like that's to me. That's I feel like that's the one I'm going to struggle with the most is with statistics. And
Yeah.
so on Thursdays from 5 until 8 o'clock, um, it's taught hybrid. So it's online one week and in person the next. I have to drive to Charleston once every other week.
Okay.
So it's not bad. It's weird to go from being the professor to the student.
Yeah, it's weird going the other way too, from the student to the professor.
I got over that, you know. I got over that. I got over my shyness and my inability to talk in front of people pretty quickly.
I'm still not.
Because you're a master of your domain, you know, you can do anything you want to.
You can. You're right.
And sometimes I do. And one of these days it's going to get me fired. But because I've been known to do things like if they start going to sleep, start crawling around the floor like a dog and barking just to see if they're paying attention.
Yeah.
Um, it's sort of like what was that movie that Robin Williams did where he was the doctor that treated disease through laughter?
Oh, right.
Sometimes I think I'd
Patch
rather,
Adams.
yeah, I'm sort of the Patch Adams of higher education. And I'm teaching a new class this semester for students who literally are about to fail out of college, mainly because I was one of those students as an undergraduate and I wanted to be there to try to help them. But I'm teaching with our associate dean who teaches math. And I don't know that she's going to take my teaching practices to heart. So
Okay.
might have to chill it out a little bit.
Yeah, we'll find out, I guess.
So, welcome to the first Reboot It of 2018. This is episode 85. And you are Amanda Berlin.
I am.
I need to put a little thing right here and so it makes like that you weren't the Mirai botnet.
I created the Mirai botnet.
Well, actually, the person who created the Mirai botnet, we're going to talk about in a second, was actually a computer science student. So I guess he was
I saw that.
he was applying knowledge.
He was. I mean, he could have used that as like a
It'd be an interesting point of concept, but
yeah,
he
like
was
his
it was a great
doctorate.
paper. Oh hell yeah! I think he was a master's student. I have to look anyway. I should start reading the stories in the show notes.
I mean, if you get out of jail after that, I wonder if
Mhm.
you can use that as like
I don't know.
on your resume.
Co-creator Mariah about that.
Yeah.
So upcoming conferences, Shmoo's coming up here soon, shortly. It's of course sold out. Good luck getting tickets.
Like 16 days.
You going to ShmooCon?
I am.
Awesome. I haven't been for a while. I like
Yep.
ShmooCon. I don't like getting in and out of DC this time of the year.
It does suck.
Yeah, especially if it snows because they don't know how to deal with snow in DC.
No.
My God, there's an inch of snow on the ground. ThoughtCon, May 4th through the 15th, also sold out. I'm just going to say a list of upcoming sold out conferences.
Always sold out. Perfect.
B-Sides New York City, January 20th.
Who is competing with Shmoo and is not sold out.
I think that Mark Boltz Robinson put that in here.
Oh, is he helping organize it?
I don't think so.
No.
For some reason, I thought he added it. So that's coming up. DerbyCon, Dave's released. Well, I should say the DerbyCon team has released dates. Sponsorship will open up the first week of March. Don't do what we did last year, which was wait until the last minute to get a sponsorship because you might not get the level you wanted. Call for trainers, call for papers, call for workshops. Opens on April 1st. I
better get going.
I
I said I better get going creating my stuff.
You doing a workshop?
No, I don't think I could create enough content by then.
People approach me about creating workshops every year, and I'm like, I just don't think that I have that much material without plagiarizing myself. Well, here's the thing: is that I can't use the same thing you use in my classes because technically that is the intellectual property of Marshall University.
Oh, okay.
So I created that for them, so I can't really go out and make money off of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know. That and DerbyCon's kind of my break from teaching. Tickets will go on sale May 5th, which is Derby Day 2018 at 1 p.m. And this year, DerbyCon moves from the Hyatt to the Marriott, so that's going to be weird.
It'll be interesting. It's always interesting when a conference moves.
I think I'm still going to stay at the Hyatt, though.
Yeah, me too. I already booked my tickets, my hotel room.
Awesome.
Because I got stuck in a place that was like, oh gosh, like 20-minute Uber ride.
Jesus.
And it was not fun going back and forth.
Never again, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I should book my room too. I've got these Hyatt points, thank goodness, from staying at DerbyCon every year, and some other stuff. So I might try to go ahead and do that. I book one of those baller ass suites on the top floor, where Dave usually stays. There's a secret suite on the top of the Hyatt. Did you know that? Did you pass out or hang up on me?
No, sorry. I'm trying to deal with a 6-year-old. Just leave it there.
It's all good.
Yeah, he's having issues, so I was trying to help him while on mute.
Okay. Anyway. So stories of this week. Security BOD uncovers 15-year-old Mac 0 day. Have you looked at this?
That seems really old for something. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. That's a really old bug.
Well, I've looked at it and I'm like, okay, you can get. I didn't understand the headline. Security BOD. Security BOD. This comes in inquirer.net, so.
Security. I don't know. What does BOD stand? It doesn't seem like it's going to stand for something because it's all in lowercase.
I know. I don't get it. So it says Apple's bad luck seems to be continuing in 2018 with the researcher uncovering a previously undiscovered macOS flaw that is thought to be around 15 years old. While the flaw is hugely devastating, it shows how companies like Apple fail to identify and fix security problems. Well, geez, when you have bazillions of lines of code, do you think you're going to identify everything?
Well, no. I mean, Windows still doesn't.
Described as a local privilege vulnerability, it affects an extension of macOS called the IOHID family.
Board of Directors.
Board of Directors.
I don't think the security board of directors found it, though.
Hackers are able to deploy a root shell. So is this lack security or just somebody getting lucky?
Probably someone just getting lucky.
The researcher explained needs to be running on the host already. You already need to have access, and then I guess you're able to escalate. Can't wait for logout, though. This doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so apparently there is a new O day that got dropped. I believe it got dropped on New Year's Day.
I was going to say the articles for today.
Pretty sure it got dropped on New Year's Day. Anyway, so apparently you go read it for yourself because I can't make heads or tails out of it. North Korea hijacks computers to mine cryptocurrency. Does this really surprise anybody?
Nope. I'm pretty sure they've probably been doing that for a while.
I thought we may have had the story before. This just popped up on Bloomberg. This is a story from today too.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's just they
Is it?
needed something in the news. I don't know.
Well,
I
it's
feel like it's probably been a thing for a while.
there's just a revolution going on in Iran that no one seems to be covering. But
Right.
well, some people are talking about that online. The thing is that they're not covering it because all the American news media was on vacation.
Right.
So if the newsroom's on vacation, there is no
They've
news.
been on vacation for what, 4 or 5 years
Easy now. Easy.
now?
Well, I mean, as a former journalist, and I have to say that it's hard for me to watch television news. CNN will take something and start just beating it to death.
I do not watch
And they will
news
beat to
on
death the
TV.
headline and make it breaking news for 6 hours. And then something else will pop up. And it's like, this is not the way this is supposed to work.
Yeah, I can't even.
And I'll turn it on, and Blair will just glare at me. She's like, I don't want to listen to this. And everyone's just talking with this fevered pitch. Oh my God, who can't believe what happened? It's like, okay. And then we have all the talking heads to get trotted out, and they breathlessly try to defend their position. But this is like trying to explain how to drive a car to people who drives a car every day. I'm sure everyone understands perfectly what I'm talking about.
Yes, true.
It doesn't surprise me. Apparently, North Koreans, because of the this current sanctions, they're very cash starved. So the way that they're getting cash
I,
is through
I
mining.
wonder. Well, I wonder what you can buy in North Korea with Bitcoin.
Nothing. I'm sure you're trading it for cash. I'm sure that they're cashing it in somewhere.
Uh-huh.
They're probably showing up on some exchange. I don't know if it's you know a mainline exchange or not, but I'm sure they're exchanging it for cash. At least that's what the story seems to say. So if you show up at Coinbase with a bunch of Bitcoin, are you going to raise any eyebrows? I don't know.
Yeah.
Remember, it's untraceable.
Blockchain.
It's an untraceable blockchain. So we were talking about this earlier. The Mirai botnet co-author pleads guilty in U.S. court. So this kid apparently was a computer science major at Rutgers, and I've got 2 or 3 different links here, including links to the actual plea deal. If you read the story from NJ.com, it buries actually what he was pled guilty to, but he pled guilty to 2016 Mariah botnet, which took down Krebs.com, etc., and actually sort of broke the internet there for a while.
Yeah.
He apparently was a computer science student, and he also disrupted the Rutgers University network, and while taunting school officials on social media. That's poor OPSEC right there. The 24-year-old computer science major who lives at home with his parents admitted to it in a
He's
series
not
of
help. He's
pleas.
not helping the stereotypical hacker.
I bet his bedroom's in the basement.
It probably is.
Admitted in a series of pleas that stretched from New Jersey to Alaska to help create powerful computer codes, including Mariah computer virus that terrorized the internet in 2016. So apparently he did more than just co-authored Mariah. I am pronouncing that correctly, am I?
That's how I pronounce it. I don't know.
He's not charged directly with launching the 2016 cyber attacks. Cyber drink. Sorry, I'm drinking.
I can't.
I'm drinking Coca-Cola.
Oh.
Which crashed Twitter, Netflix, and other websites around the world. Those hackers remain unknown, and investigators decline to comment on investigation. So they're not saying he actually launched Mariah botnet, but he apparently helped create it.
Right. So what then? Like, if you just wrote it,
Well,
Are
I mean,
you
we've seen this before.
at fault?
I mean, this goes back to the first computer virus, which was the Morris worm,
Yeah.
which was written by Robert Tappan Morris, who was the son of a very famous mathematician at MIT, and he wrote it and unleashed it, and it started crashing people's mailboxes. It would fill up their inboxes with crap, and he ended up being charged. It wasn't that he. I don't think he was charged with releasing it as much as he was charged with writing it.
Okay.
The guy who wrote the Melissa virus also charged with writing it, not with unleashing it. But I'm sure that may have been a part of it before. But it seems like the root goes back to that you wrote this piece of malware.
Yeah.
So if I write malware as a point of concept, am I creating crime?
At what point are you a security researcher and would
I mean, that's the question.
I guess if you write it, you just have to make sure it doesn't get in the hands of the wrong people, or if it does so and not tied back to you.
Kevin Johnson talks about these people who write these points of concepts and then launches them online to prove a point, and then they claim they're security researchers.
Right.
That's bad for what actual security researchers actually do. So I wonder if he tried the security researcher's card in his defense.
Maybe.
Apparently, he was also using it in a Minecraft server protection racket.
I saw that. I'm not sure exactly what that means.
Apparently, it was written not to crash the internet or become a botnet, but it was written so that he could say, if you don't pay up, I'm going to DDoS your
Minecraft server.
Minecraft servers.
Okay.
So they basically sold a service so that Minecraft operators could take other people offline. So if you're running a Minecraft server and you wanted everyone to come over and play on your Minecraft server, you would basically take all of your rivals offline.
Okay. Which could equal a lot of money. I mean, if you had a lot of people paying.
Yeah, exactly. That's the idea. So that's where the money comes from. I swear this guy was interviewed on something.
I don't know.
So familiar. Maybe an episode of Cyber War.
I've not watched any of that.
It's very good. One of our friends have been on there.
Yeah.
Ian's been on there. Katie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. There from the first season, it was like, I know that person. I know.
Right.
But yeah, it's not bad. The second season kind of is not as good as the first season, but I think they started to really struggle to try to find things to talk about.
It's because they haven't had us on there. I mean, we're the cream of the crop. I'm not sure why they're waiting so long.
Hey, I was hard enough. Did you see where I was actually doing? They had me doing live cut-ins on the local news.
No.
Scared shitless. Second segment. So the first segment is always the top story, and then we're going to talk to security expert Bill Gardner about the new iPhone. And of course, I tried to talk in some way that was.
Was it about the new iPhone?
Yeah, it was about the new iPhone. It was about internet security. It was about how you stay, because at the same time I'm doing like a Facebook live chat.
Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of nerve-wracking, but
yeah,
and I did a good job.
Horrible on TV.
Well,
I don't know what it is. Like I do this really weird thing where I can't really talk anymore, and I just struggle for words, and then
I think it's
roll my eyes a lot, which is really weird.
I think it's different if they do it in your space, because what they did was they sent somebody down with like a microwave link, and we did it in my office, and I have to go there. I think if you set me in a TV studio, it would be not a good thing.
Well, at Black Hat 2 years ago, I had somebody walk up to me that was a local Las Vegas reporter, and he asked me some questions, and I look like a moron on TV. For some reason, I'm just like rolling my eyes every 5 seconds, and it just looks absolutely horrible.
You might have been thinking, you know how you think you look up?
Yeah.
Where you're visualizing? That's
Yep.
that's part of NLP and all that stuff.
Yep.
So don't be so hard on yourself. After I started doing this, I got way less. And I did live radio too. I've done live radio locally.
Oh,
We're
I
talking
think I
about
could do
Bill Gardner,
radio.
about the HackerCon. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could do that.
It's not too bad. It's the problem I had in both cases was hearing the producer, because they come kind of crackling in your ear, like, okay, you're ready. We're ready in 5.
Oh, okay.
And then you're like, okay. But I I feared that I wasn't going to hear cue or something. I'd be picking my nose,
Right.
straightening my bow tie. And they did actually do an interview with me right before break, using Skype, and it was awful because all I could see was myself.
Oh, I hate that.
And then it was like the voice of God asking questions, and they were asking about net neutrality, and they wanted me to come with this narrative that net neutrality is awful. And I was like, I kind of took a middle line. I guess it's from
Right.
being a college professor. I'm like, well, some people who are for the repeal of net neutrality say, that will increase competition and will
But
really
isn't
help the
that
free market.
supposed to be how news is supposed to be?
Exactly. So that's, and I gave both sides, and then there are other people who are afraid what will happen is we'll have to pay for basically every bit that gets transmitted across our internet service provider. So if you're streaming Netflix, that will be a charge, and
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. And she just did not understand what I was trying to tell her or what I was trying to say, and she
Right.
wanted me to get this. Oh my God, the world's going to end, and when I didn't, I don't think they're very happy with me.
Probably not going to get called on anymore.
That's fine, because if they were actually their studios are in Charleston, I'd rather get to talk to somebody in town so I can actually go to their studios and talk to them. But it was hard to do a Skype interview because I could only see myself, and then there was these long pauses where it'd be like, Bill, what do you think about net neutrality? And I would say my spill, and then it was just dead air.
Huh.
So I was sitting there looking at myself, and I'm like, my bow tie is crooked, because you get nervous. So I was like, hopefully they could cut out enough. And at one point I took it off. I was like, I just took it off because I thought maybe she thought I was trying to be snotty with her. And I'm like, okay, let me take this bow tie off and
That's funny.
look less professorial and
Right.
professorial, and try to talk to her and see, because I just felt like I had no rapport with her at all.
Right.
And so, when you put that machine between you and somebody else, you want to talk about communication breakdown. So I never saw that. It was never posted online. It did air, and of course, everyone says, I thought you did a really good job. God knows if I actually did or not.
Yeah. Never trust people.
So I reposted this from Dave Shackelford, and this is from 2015. We need a new FUD. So he goes through this litany of data breaches: Heartland, TJX, Adobe, Global Payment, Target, which shows that the stock prices went up considerably after the breach. And now we have the whole Equifax situation.
Dude, I made a good amount of money on Equifax, Zach.
How did you have a bet or something?
No, I waited until the stocks got until I don't know. I place a lot of my stock buying on who's breached currently.
Oh, that's nice.
I just wait for another breach, and when that happens, I watch their stock until it tanks, and then I buy.
We
and it
like
usually
to point
works
out
because almost always bounce back.
We like to point out there is a disclaimer that we are not financial advisors, nor are we licensed stockbrokers.
No.
So please do not take our stock advice.
I'm horrible at that stuff.
That'd be like me giving my Bitcoin advice, because now I have to figure out if I have any capital gains. And based upon my preliminary report, I'm going to have some nice losses to write off.
Everybody's going to want to report their Bitcoin losses, but none of them wanted to report their gains.
Well, I'm sure there's people that's got huge gains, and Coinbase is like put up a notice. You need to pay taxes on your
Yeah.
capital gains, and this is how you run the report to figure out if you have anything to report.
Yeah.
So, yeah, some people will be screwed, or some people won't report it, and then the IRS is going to show up knocking on their door.
Yep.
So Dave Shackelford says we need new FUD. So what would be the new FUD to make people actually not screw up?
I don't know. I think Equifax is going to be still a good one for a while.
But their stock prices are going up.
It doesn't matter. You just don't point that out. It's FUD, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like we point at Target. Oh my God, the Target breach. None of these people's ever actually gotten out of business. It's almost like you should have bad security, so you'll get breached and your stock will go up. Is it true that there's no such thing as bad PR?
Press, yeah.
There's such thing as bad press. Somebody's talking about you, your stock's going to go up. I don't know.
I don't know. Again, I'm not a financial advisor.
Welcome to the I Don't Know podcast, where I ask Amanda questions and we both answer.
She just says she doesn't know.
Sorry. I was belched in everyone's ears.
I heard.
So this SWAT-tastic guy bragged that he hit 100 schools and 10 homes. So what's this swatting with these kids today, Amanda? And why the hell is this?
I never knew it was a.
Why is this an InfoSec story?
I don't know. I don't know why it was a specific thing.
Well, swatting's part of the deep underculture, which I think probably some of the first swatting probably happened on 4chan, where basically,
right.
Yeah, we had a swatting incident here locally a couple years ago where I think it was Call of Duty. So people use an IP address in order to track down what your address is using open source intelligence, and then they call in a fake hostage situation. And in a recent case, a gentleman was actually killed.
Nice, yeah. I mean, somebody did that to me, but like, they just ordered me some pizza. They didn't actually.
Well, I mean, I've talked to people before. At one point, a couple of people I know have been swatted in the security industry because you've got these people, if you're doing, if you're especially working law enforcement cases against them, they'll try to figure out ways of getting back at you.
Yep.
And it's very dangerous because people do die in swatting.
Obviously.
But I'm not sure what you can do to stop it, especially since it's so easy to, you can go out and buy like the burner app on the iPhone and disguise your phone number to be anything in the world. I guess that's the other part of it too. The phone numbers have to match up, but looks like that 911 systems would have some sort of defense against this, but I guess it's probably something they don't think they're, worried about keeping people from robbing, killing, and raping each other, and probably not thinking about practical jokers. But I guess at some point, if it hasn't been addressed, and I haven't looked to see if it has been tried to be addressed. I'm sure that there are anti-swatting measures out there. But this is once again the part of the dirty underbelly of the internet coming forward. This is swatting is a form of trolling.
I bet like Call of Duty servers and stuff like that have implemented better logging and stuff.
I don't know. I know in World of Warcraft it's not as bad as it used to be, but the things that people, I mean, if I could choke some of those 10-year-old kids across the internet, they would be dead. I know a lot of people, when I play a game like that, they'll just take the chat window and drag it off, or they don't use voice at all. And I don't do voice chat.
Yeah.
But there are so many games now with voice chat. Overwatch, for example, is now big, not just Call of Duty. There's a lot of different
Yeah, Michael plays Rainbow Siege 6, I think it's called. I
6
think
is
that's
already out. I still only have 5.
yeah, that's the one that he
I'm
does.
teasing you.
I have absolutely no idea if there is a 5 or if that's just part of the
I've,
name.
I've got 6.1.
Rainbow Six Siege. I don't know. I just watch him shoot people all day.
That'd be an interesting thing to take out of context.
Yeah. But that's the only one that he does video chat on, or
Yeah.
not video chat, but gaming chat on. Um, and it's just like they go in campaigns with his friends and stuff. But yeah, you can still hear like he'll go in and he'll mute a whole bunch of people just because they're super annoying. But you have to do it like one by one.
Have you watched Black Mirror?
Oh yes.
Have you
God, I
seen
love Black Mirror.
the last one? The one with the Star Trek, not
Yes.
Star Trek like one? Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, at the end of it, that's exactly what online gaming is like.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna get you. Get on my part of the galaxy, you big baby.
Yep.
Yeah, fun stuff. So, the next thing we're going to talk about was something that we talked about earlier before we went on air, and I think it's something that needs to be addressed. So, the Rick Hayes situation, and not our Rick Hayes at 304 Geeks, but Rick Hayes, who used to host the InfoSec Daily podcast, um, has become a point of contention, maybe, I don't know if a point of contention or what's going on here, but apparently attrition.org has put up a shame piece on Rick Hayes. He is the former producer of the InfoSec Daily podcast, contributed to Business Insider, former Force Practice League with Trusted Sec. He was fired from Trusted Sec on September 13, 2016, after he's indicted in Henry County in Georgia with aggravated child molestation and 2 counts of child molestation. Also pleaded not guilty for a number of counts, including 10 counts.
Yeah, but
Indictment
this
included
happened back
possession
in
of file.
2016.
Yeah, and now
He
it's
was
all of a sudden
arrested.
it's coming back to.
Yeah, I didn't. And now he's on like third set of charges.
Yeah, and he's still on the pokey. But some
Yeah.
people have started taking shots at people who knew Rick. I used to listen to the ISD podcast. The ISD podcast was a major influence on me doing this podcast. It follows very much the same format, but I don't think that anyone knew what the hell was going on.
Um, nobody did, because if somebody knew about that, almost 99% of the population would have reported it. I'd like to think. But
Uh,
I've talked to people that knew him and worked
yeah.
with him. People
Yeah.
thought that he was an asshole to work with.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've heard that.
Yeah, other people, hung out with him and knew him pretty well. I guess it was a huge blow to his family. And I mean, of course it's going to be huge.
Well, I wait.
No, his family didn't know.
That's what I keep wondering about, because he had teenage children
Yeah.
and a
So,
wife
the thing
and a
I don't
mortgage.
get is there was a couple Twitter accounts that started this whole bringing it up again, which, I mean, if it happened back in 2016, and I don't know why they didn't go after it then. But it looked like they were trying to bully Trusted Sec into providing some sort of press release on it. Okay, so why, first off, like, are you going to bully his wife to ask what her thoughts on it are?
Yeah.
Um, they fired him the day he was arrested
Right.
in 2016. So I'm at a loss for words on why you would go after anybody. They didn't go at. It looked like they were just trying to bully one company, and Dave in particular, and they didn't ask any of his other employers.
Yeah, he worked at when I knew him. He worked at SecureWorks.
Yeah.
And he actually hired a number of people I'm pretty close to at
Yep.
SecureWorks, including one of my former students. A number of people I know in the community work for him, and they, he I've never worked closely with them, other than to have some
But I mean,
ideas. It's like
it just
knowing
goes to
anybody else
show
in the
you
world.
that, I mean, it
It's
could be
like
anybody.
it's like when your neighbor gets accused of a crime or something. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
Yep.
And to take this out on date and trusted sex, bunch of bullshit.
Yep.
Um, and it makes you wonder, after all the shit that was stirred over DerbyCon and the code of conduct to that, if there's people just stirring shit.
There are, and
But I didn't.
they're all linked to a small group of people, it seems, and the louder they are, the more friction they cause.
Well, this is old, as you said. He was originally arrested in August of 2016. The last indictments came out in August of 2017. 10 counts of possession of child pornography, including infants. My God. Two additional counts of child molestation and a count of aggravated sexual battery. So it looks like that Mr. Hayes is going to go away for a long time. I also want to point out there's another Rick Hayes, which is our Rick Hayes at 304 Geeks, and there were some people who had confused the two. They are two completely different people.
Yeah.
It's sort of like having I'm not sure that there's somebody out there named Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm
Right.
sure that's not fun either.
Right.
But no, our Rick Hayes is not the Rick Hayes, which is on
He
the
needs to start
subject of
going
this.
by Richard or something.
Yeah, but he's
Start going by his middle name.
yeah, he's not that involved with the community other than doing secure WV. So
Right.
I don't think that's that big of a deal with him. And it's just, and the other thing in our community is that we're a bunch of fucking gossips, and this sort of came up in one of the groups that you and I are in,
Yep.
and there's a lot of like, oh my God, I'm like, this is old news.
Yep.
So I don't know. Sometimes I think they like to kick people while they're down, or if they see something, oh my God, did you hear blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Guess what I saw on audition.org? Um, I don't know. It's one of the reasons that I don't spend a lot of time dealing with people in our community anymore. But anyway.
I'm just selective. I know the people that are in it for the drama, and I just ignore them now. I'm really good at it.
Yeah, you and me both. So anyway, going on to something that's sort of related, and you put this story in here. Massive child support site is hiding in plain sight, and the owner's behind it.
Yeah. So this guy was Googling for, let me open that up. The entire article is really super in depth on him finding this child porn site.
And for the love of baby Jesus, don't open those links
No,
that are in the
yeah.
story,
Don't click any of the links in the
because you will
story.
go to jail.
Yeah, it's definitely not good. But he was on Google Image, just searching for Google Images, and
Mhm.
searched for a couple different HTML tags. One was image source, and one was
Mhm.
image source HTML. And it brought up not child porn. Well, I mean, it's just photos of minors with not much clothing on,
Yeah.
like family photos, beach photos, like that.
Hmm.
Um, and it was because Google had pulled that from this Russian site. And it's not just Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo are also listed on here. Um, and he did this huge, in depth research on this Russian image hosting site. Um, Found that it's like their their search engine limits you looking for certain things, but it's not like he couldn't. He did some research into like looking for 14Y0 or YO for years old, right? And like all of the other ages, and using the search option within the website, it started at like 9 and above, but the other ones were on there.
Jesus.
They were just being blocked by the search engine itself. They were still there, and there's just this. He did a really good job of documenting everything, and actually went and found 3 out of the 4 people that run the site.
Yeah.
and we're trying to um, get it taken care of, but it's in Russia. So,
Well, drone strikes would fix
yeah.
that. Um, it's well, the other thing is I'm sure it's part of the whole organized crime thing in Russia, which Putin is also involved with.
Oh, yeah.
So it's basically what you have in Russia is this organized crime oligarchy running a country. But
But yeah,
now that I'm all bummed out
I
now.
know it's horrible stories to end on, but I highly recommend the article. It's
That's the
just,
reason I stay away from the people across the hallway that work in digital forensics because all it is, it seems like over there is child porn, child porn, child porn,
yeah.
and it depresses the hell out of me.
Yep. Yep.
Um, but anyway, um, so to reset briefly, and a lot of people already know this, but I always wanted to make this a show about security and privacy in plain language. So if you're at home and like we all recently were for the holidays, and someone says, "How do you know if I've been hacked?" Send them over to Have I Been Pwned, haveibeenpwned.com, and you can actually do a search through compromised data. So data that's been involved in breaches, and it will tell you if it finds your information in there.
Yep.
So that's Bill Gardner's tip of the day. It's our cyber tip of the week.
And change your passwords.
Oh, God, change your passwords, but good Lord, remembering password is just become a huge pain in my
I
ass.
I finally bought uh the pro version of Password Manager I use.
Yeah, I have a password manager, the pro version, and I use it, but it's just a pain in my ass. I always worry that I'm gonna have to log into something because my password manager, I've only installed it on my home local computer, and of
I've
course it's
installed
backed up.
everywhere.
I don't want to install it everywhere. When you start touching the cloud with that stuff, it's like it gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Nah.
Um, but probably what it does also makes me use weak passwords because I'm gonna be like, um, anyway, freaking hate passwords.
Yes.
So how cold is it at where you are?
Uh, horrible.
Has it been below zero?
Yep. It
Um,
was -5.
I think we got down to 0 or -1 here this morning,
Let me look.
and I
It's
went out and
absolutely. It is currently 3 degrees,
damn,
and the wind chill is at -14.
yeah, that sounds like some fun right there.
Yep.
Um, that's not fun at all. Oh, it's 8 here, so it's like a tropical heat wave. It's been cold. I'd rather it be cold than snowy, personally. Of course, I'd rather it be neither. But
We
if you
still
had to,
have like a foot of snow, maybe.
we were lucky. It snowed a little bit. It got kind of really weird and slick, and then it's the sun's been uh, melting it off. But I didn't get to go home see my mother over the holiday break because the weather was bad,
Yeah.
and I was sick on Christmas,
Ugh.
which was not fun. But it is what it is. But anyway, I got up this morning, went out and started Blair's car for her.
That's so nice of you.
I know, and I was sitting there because I can't leave a running car unattended. It's technically against the law in West Virginia.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that bullshit?
Yeah.
I guess they don't people to steal cars. Like, but the whole thing about like remote start, when you start the car
It
remotely,
has to
it
be
locks the
locked.
doors. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's would be a point of contention one day if someone ever to give a ticket. But I didn't want to leave her car, so I was sitting there, and I finally called her and said, "You coming out?" And she's just doing her morning routine, probably watching television, looking at the Facebook, and I'm like, "It's freaking cold out here."
Uh-huh.
But especially with her car, cause it is a convertible. it really is cold when it's cold like this. So the other thing, it hadn't been started for like a week because we've been at home, and I'm like, we should go out and start your car because
Make sure it
it's
starts.
hard on the batteries. Yeah. But anyway, so I want to thank everyone who donated to my causes. I put up on December 31st, including
Oh, I saw that. The
3 or 4
Facebook thing.
Geeks and also the Marshall University Foundation. The way the new tax laws are written, once again, I'm not a tax professional and do not take tax advice from me. But it appears that coming up, it's going to be better for most people to take standard deductions than try to itemize their taxes. So,
What?
yeah, in most cases, the standard deduction is going to be more than
We'll
what
see.
you can itemize.
I itemize a lot of stuff.
Oh, I itemize a lot of stuff too, but they've doubled the standard deduction, and then they're limiting things like mortgage interest. So,
I mean, actually, that's what I'm going through right now is trying to find out all the stuff that I have to deduct.
well, me too. I've tried to get it all together. I
Yeah.
gave a lot of money to charity this year because I'd rather give it to charity than the U.S. government
Yes.
because I have the problem of making too much money this year. Now, where the hell it is, I don't know, but
Right?
it's amazing how you make money, it goes away. But no, I was blessed with a lot of wonderful opportunities. Of course, all that money is gone, but now I have to pay taxes on it. But Dave Ramsey doesn't tell you how to till that, does he? Um, Anywho, I've already started I've already started booking business for this year for consulting. So
Nice.
yeah, well, it's good to
I'm
have
gonna do
money.
some O'Reilly training again.
When's that coming up? Do you have a date?
No, I still need it approved and I have to sign the contracts and everything.
I um was thinking about writing another book, but I
Do
don't
it.
think so. Nope.
Do it.
Don't have time. I'm starting a freaking doctoral program. I have time to write a book.
Yeah, me neither.
You writing another book?
No.
You sure?
No. I mean, I wrote a white paper-ish thing the other day, and that was enough. It's up to
Yeah.
like 19 pages, so
I'm gonna have to write a damn dissertation coming up, so the
yay.
idea of writing a book does not make me happy at all. Hi,
Yeah.
Leo Bear. My cat came to visit.
Aw.
He always comes to visit when I'm talking on
Oh,
either the
really?
phone. Oh yeah, he thinks I'm talking to him. He's just a cat. Anyway, well, Amanda, thanks for coming on tonight.
Yeah. Thank you.
Uh, I know it's hard to pry you away from that other podcast you're on. Would you want to go ahead and give them your other
A shout
podcast
out. I
a
don't
shout
know.
out?
I don't know.
Plug them.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Breaking down security.
And who's on that?
That would be Brian Brake, Brian Betcher, and Brian Amanda.
Is that what they call you now?
No, but they have changed it to Berlining down security. They like to make fun of me about that. But
Hilarious.
it's a good podcast. We do a lot of cool stuff in our Slack.
And you actually do. Well, that's true. You have Slack. There's training opportunities.
Yeah. We do
What's
training
the
through the
latest?
podcast. We do book club and CTF club.
Awesome.
And we have like DFIR channels and a whole bunch of other stuff. And we might be coming up with like a spin-off podcast thing this year.
Awesome. So I'm looking for you all to pick up the slack because I've been slacking pretty hard.
Have you?
Well, I mean, this is only the second podcast I've done in like 4 months,
And I've been on both of them.
and you've been on every one of them. Um, it's just been so busy, but
Because
I'm trying to do it.
I'm a podcast whore and I can't help it.
That's okay. I appreciate you coming on. You're a good guest, and you always have all kinds of intelligent, good things to say.
Well, thanks.
You're welcome. But on that note, we're going to sign off. Thanks, everyone. And we'll talk to you hopefully in about a week. So hit the stop button.
Bye.